Hello everyone, you welcome to the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. In our top stories, mobile elements, or the elements of the mobile intervention units of the police in the Douala 2 subdivision have apprehended some group of individuals who plan to attack a businessman in the New Bell neighborhood. As in the Douala 2 subdivision, they were in possession of a pistol that follows complaint filed by the businessman. Also, the Minister of Communication, Rene Emmanuel Saji, is on a working visit at the Equinoxe Media House. Is meeting with the Managing Director, journalists, as well as the entire management of Equinoxe Television and Nouvelle Expression, while making a tour in the studios of the Equinoxe Television and Radio and the section of the Nouvelle Expression. The Minister of Communication, Rene Emmanuel Saji, expressed satisfaction in the organization of the Media House and its readiness ahead of the AFCON 2022. Those were our top stories. Good evening once again. You welcome to the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. We begin with this information to say the Minister of Communication, Rene Emmanuel Saji, is on a working visit at the Equinoxe Media House. He is meeting with the Managing Director, journalists, and the entire management. The Minister of Communication, Rene Emmanuel Saji, made a tour in the studios of Equinoxe Television, Radio, and a section of Nouvelle Expression. The communication boss expressed satisfaction with organization of the Media House and its readiness ahead of the AFCON that will kick off in the country few months from now. Take a listen to the Minister of Communication, Rene Emmanuel Saji, in the following excerpt. We'll be coming back with that in a subsequently, perhaps after these reports, where elements of the mobile intervention units of the police in the Douala 2 subdivision have apprehended some individuals in possession of a pistol. The plans attacking a businessman in the New Bell neighborhood. Smanjukan Gabriel and Inosana Bega have been following that incident.
Elements of the mobile intervention unit search a resident in New Bell, Douala 2 subdivision. The search is coming days after the mobile intervention police unit, through its commander, received a complaint about a planned attack on a business personality in the locality.
We received a complaint from one Mr. Tozi, who lives at the New Bell neighborhood and who operates a business depot and who deals in the sale of drinks, that a certain Mr. Chola was planning to come and attack his business place. So immediately we registered the complaint and we received firm instructions to go on the field and verify the situation.
Upon the search, the police officers from the mobile intervention unit seized an automatic pistol from the man who is accused to have planned to attack a business person and arrested several others close to this man.
Upon our arrival on the field, we arrested effectively the suspect, Mr. Chola, who during his exploitation, we were obliged to visit his home, his residence, where during the course we discovered that he was illegally keeping a pistolet, black in color. So as a result of that, we had to continue with a search around the New Bell neighborhood that resulted to the arrest of some of his friends.
The arrest of the accused and his friends falls in line with the operation to keep Douala clean ahead of the African Nations Cup, an operation launched by the regional delegate of National Security, Raymond Esogo.
And we stay in the economic capital, Douala. We take you to Bonaberry, Douala 4 subdivision to talk about Petit Bonanjo. It is a locality in the Douala 4 subdivision where the slaughterhouse is known to be intoxicating the entire neighborhood because of the poor management of their waste. Details with Charles Ekome.
The pungent odor, which has engulfed the Petit Bonanjo neighborhood in Bonaberry in the Douala 4 subdivision, is unbearable. Locals say this disheartening phenomenon is as a result of poor sanitary conditions of the lone slaughterhouse in the locality. They decry the infestation of mosquitoes and diseases caused by this situation.
Almost 10 years ago that we have been facing this problem. We have run up and down. We have gone to abattoir. We have made a lot of plaints. Even we went right to the mayor, to the council, to see this problem can be solved, but the problem remains the same. We have cried day and night, and it causes us a lot of sickness around. You have mosquitoes around, you have pains, not talk of rashes, not talk of typhoid and malaria. It's too much around this area because of the odor that comes out of the water. And the water, if you look now, you see it is really blood. It's totally blood coming out from abattoir.
The chief of block at Petit Bonanjo, Azum Kofi Samuel, says the competent authorities don't seem to be paying attention to their conditions after several complaints.
I don't write for you. I don't write.
I have written a letter to the divisional officer of Douala 4 as well as council authorities, but none of these administrative authorities have replied any of my letters. The person I was hoping will come to our aid was the mayor, but he has said nothing on the issue. We are pleading with the government to look into our situation.
So if government fit try this way, if he try fix without gutter for abattoir, for say population be survive.
At the moment, the locality of Petit Bonanjo still continues to be plagued by diseases and pungent smells. All they ask of is that the competent authorities look into their situation.
The corpse of their beloved husband, father, and brother that has been kept in the morgue of the 2nd Region Military Hospital for over 20 months. This is due to a conflict between the deceased 3 wives on where their husband has to be laid to rest. The first wife wants Joseph Mbayo's mortal remains to be buried in his compound in Douala, while the second wife fights for it to be buried in his native Badengo village in the West Region, where is found his family home. The third wife, on her part, wants their husband's corpse to be laid to rest in one of his compounds in Douala. She and her brother say it was the wish of the deceased for his corpse to be buried in front of his door of his house here in Douala. While in court, the second wife was favored and authorized the corpse of Joseph be buried in Balengu. Months later, the third wife sought the court of the Littoral Court of Appeal, and every reason was given to her for the corpse to be buried in any of the man's compounds in Douala. Despite the different court decisions, the conflict over Joseph's corpse persists, with clear indications it could last even longer. The second wife and her children, supported by a large majority, pleads on the head of state to intervene and put an end with his final decision to this squabble. We move to the southwest region of Cameroon to talk about an accident that has led to 2 persons severely injured, and the 2 persons are receiving medical attention at a local hospital in Tiko subdivision. The driver and his motorboy, or the conductor of the vehicle, were injured in an accident that occurred in Mutengene. That was today. Witnesses say a lorry that lost its brake, that had its brakes failed, was at the origin of this accident. The lorry destroyed 3 houses on its way and 2 vehicles. The mayor of Tiko, Chief Peter Mesoso, was at the scene of the accidents to evaluate the casualties recorded as a result of the accident. And on to health reports, neurology is gradually becoming an epidemic in Cameroon as many children get infected. Pregnant women are called upon to follow the doctor's advice in order to prevent their children from this neurology. Details in this report with Mala Glory.
Health reveals a continuous increase, particularly in children suffering from disabilities of different types, especially in Cameroon. One of the acute and most common of them is autism. According to the United Nations organization, there are about 700,000 autism in Cameroon, and most of them are school-age kids, but who for one reason or the other do not go to school.
What we are calling autism at this time is like a pandemic, it's like an epidemic. There are many children that are coming to consultation about lack of language, lack of communication, also hyperactivity and many other disorders. For also in the school, their performance in the school are not very normal.
When a child is affected from birth, it becomes a burden to the parents as they try to find solutions to the illness. At some point, they get discouraged when they can't find help. This is because some disabilities recover while others are stubborn.
When someone gives birth to a child and discover that that child has some disabilities, at that moment he's trying to do his best to help. After many years, they are discouraged because some of them are not improving, because for anyone they think the child or the patient need to recover all his abilities. Then for some type of disabilities, it's not easy. So it's not possible to recover all the cells.
The disease comes as a result of no proper checkups, that is, incomplete antenatal by the pregnant mother. This disease can be genetic. Meningitis and cerebral malaria are risk factors to neurological disorder.
Genetic causes, when the parents are old, the possibility for that couple to have a child with disability is more than the couple that are young. Neurological causes, when the mother is pregnant, they are asking some exams like toxoplasmos, rubiola, to know if there is any infection.
During delivery, a baby can face difficulties such as not being able to cry, which can expose the child to the disease.
Also, when she wants to deliver, the child is not crying at the time, they can reanimate the child. After that reanimation, the child can have some consequence of that. So he cannot walk at the time, he cannot do what he's supposed to do at the normal age.
The disease could be controlled if the child is brought to the hospital. Immediately he is tested positive. Meanwhile, pregnant women are advised to follow the doctor's instructions.
I told you in the beginning of this newscast that the Cameroon's Minister of Communication, René Emmanuel Sadji, is on a working visit at the Equinoxe Media House. He's meeting with the managing director, journalists, and the entire management of Equinoxe Television, Radio, and Nouvelle Expression. During his tour in the studios of Equinoxe Television and Radio and a section of the Nouvelle Expression, that's the newspaper section, the Minister of Communication, René Emmanuel Sadji, expressed satisfaction with the organization of the Media House and its readiness ahead of the African Nations Cup to be played in Cameroon a few months from now. Take a listen to Minister René Emmanuel Sadji in the following excerpt.
I think I have two reasons. The first, which is the main one, was to come and see what was done by some companies that were selected to execute some contracts concerning the communication sector, the broadcasting sector of the coming event, that is the AFCON, that we are preparing. And you know that if there's nothing which is done correctly concerning the broadcasting of these events, there won't be any event. If there's no communication, there's nothing. So people should know what is going on in Cameroon, what will go on in Cameroon on January. And for that, some contracts have been signed by the Ministry of Communication concerning a lot of equipments, very sophisticated. And I had to come and see. I did the same thing in Cameroon, in Yaoundé. I went to Olembe, I went to Fandina, I went to the radio, to the CRTV to see what has already been done in that sector. And the same companies went to Japoma and Bikandam. They did the same thing. So I had to come and ascertain and see if things have been done correctly, if I can go and tell the hierarchy that we can be confident, we should not worry, everything is correct. Cameroon will be able on January really to make a coverage of the event with a lot of competence. That was the purpose of my first visit. But I said I can't come to Douala without coming and paying some visit to some of our partners, because I think that you channels, private channels, you are partners. I could not just come and visit CRTV, Sopecam. I should also come and visit the private media, and among which you have Equinoxe, which to my mind, for what I can ascertain, is quite a competitive channel. Equinoxe is doing a good job. Although I know that some people might say the contrary. Some people might look at Equinoxe as a chain which has an option which may be considered as hostile. So I said I will come and exchange with the Director General. I come with exchange with the actors, principal actors, like Mufele and Mr. who are people that we see every day, and exchange with them on the line that they have. And maybe I will understand better, and maybe we could get to kind of consensus as to the way that we think their work should be done. That's why I came. I visited some other private media. This is the third one, I think. And I think that from what I guess, it's a quite wonderful channel. I can see the way things are set up, quite competitive, remarkable, impressive. And I think that you are doing a good job. Are you from Equinoxe yourself? You are. So I think I came to congratulate you too, and to exchange with you, with the Director General, because of course I hear some comments concerning Equinoxe. I may have to change on that with the Director General, so that we could have some few consensus on all those matters. You see, this is the purpose of my visit to your channel, and I appreciate the way I've been welcome in this channel. I think. Thank you very much.
The Minister of Communication, Rene Emmanuel Sadi, speaking there to Equinoxe Television, and he arrived this afternoon, received by the Managing Director. As you can watch in the images, he was received by other personnel of Equinoxe Television, and you can see in the images shaking hands with some staff, the management of Equinoxe Television. He visited the office of the managing director, accompanied by the staff. They equally had a charted discussion, that's with the managing director, who had a lot to dish to the Minister of Communication, Rene Emmanuel Sadi, and other staff who were as well present during that meeting. The minister had a discussion as well with the editor-in-chief, Cedric Nufele. He had the opportunity as well to visit the newsroom of Equinoxe Television, the radio newsroom as well, and they met with other journalists. He gave a general satisfaction appraisal on the functioning of Equinoxe Television, radio, and the newspaper, commonly popularly called Nouvelle Expression, and he says he is satisfied with the job that's been done the Equinoxe, and he says Equinoxe remains a competitive media organ in Cameroon, also renowned, though he criticizes the fact that many look at Equinoxe Television as being hostile in its reporting. He says they are doing a great job, and the essential is that the information reaches the masses, and calls on the staff of Equinoxe Television and Radio Nouvelle Expression to continue doing a great job. He has praised as well the organization of Equinoxe Television, Radio, TV, and Nouvelle Expression. And we stay to talk about the Confederation of African Football, the SCAF, that has validated the mascot and anthem of the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations proposed by the local organizing committee of the competition headed by Sports Minister Narcisse Mwele Kombi. They were unveiled in the month of May following a competition to choose the best and forwarded to CAF officials for validation. The name given to the mascot Mula is a Cameroonian slang which refers to a brotherhood. It is the work of art of a young Cameroonian called Felix Fukwa. The anthem, on the other hand, is a composition of the Africa Smile group, mostly constituted of children. The competition is slated to kick off in January 2022. Ahead of the kick-off, the country is rounding up with preparations, especially at the level of infrastructures earmarked to host the Continental Jamboree. The brand new Olembe Stadium that will host the first and last games will be welcoming Indomitable Lions and their counterparts from Malawi on September 2nd for a test match. The draw ceremony to determine the pools of the participating teams is slated for next month. That's it for the first part of this newscast. Up next, Talking Points. Good evening once again. You're welcome to Talking Points on Equinoxe Television. We having as guest Dr. Busi Ernest Niba. He is an educationist and psychologist. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, sir. I'm very, very humbled to be here to analyze state issues that concerns Cameroonians, because I think that we all have to contribute towards nation building and good governance.
Of course, and we never lack what to actually analyze in Cameroon, coupled with the fact that a lot is happening around. The population keep having stories to tell. And you're from the southwest region, and how is the situation there?
The truth is
As you managed to get here, was it a swift journey, smooth one?
The truth is that we have to be honest to be Cameroon. It's just honesty that will be Cameroon. We have to be truthful. And I think that this is time for us to be honest, to be this country, because I think that I'm coming from Boya and we are living in an environment of fear, and people are suffering from post-traumatic stress, people are suffering from mental flashback, the war is ongoing. On daily basis, people are running from one place to another. The fear, people are being killed on daily basis. Both civilian and the military is being killed. The non-state actors are dead, kidnapping people. Also, the military is there, and we want to say that we are in total fear. We are in pain in the northwest and southwest. Coming from Boya, I can say Boya, in Moliko, things are fine there, but go to the suburb, the common man is suffering, the common man is in pain, people are displaced, people are in psychosocial pain, and they are running, and they are refugees, they are IDPs, and so on. People are really in pain in the northwest and southwest on daily basis. The military, I think that the military solution cannot solve this problem. I think that we have to dialogue, we have to sit like a people and talk our own Cameroonian issues, because I think that guns have never solved problem. Let's sit as Cameroonians and talk like a people, because there's no way we can say we have solved the problem when we have not solved the problem. People have to tell the president of the republic, President Paul Biya, the truth, because I think that most elites have to tell the president the truth for us to solve this problem, because children are not going to school in the northwest and southwest. Most children are school dropouts, and some have been raped, and some have given up, some are not more resilient again for 5 years. And what about their future? So I think that is an issue that the elites of the northwest and southwest have to be honest to the president of the republic, President Paul Biya. I think President Paul Biya is the father of the nation. He will listen to us. The first national dialogue that was held, I think that they talk about the special status, and now, to be candid, the special status is not really very effective at the moment as we are talking, because I think that the non-state actors who are still in prison, I think that there's need for another inclusive dialogue so that we can sit, all the parties can sit together, we talk, because I'm talking like this for 5 years. I've not been in my village in Bafut because of the fear of the unknown. The territory is not safe. The non-state actors are there. People, they are kidnapping people on daily basis. People are paying ransom on daily basis. The military also is sometimes also The military sometimes also go extraordinary and do things that are not good because they are there to protect the common man. Sometimes they do not protect the common man, and you see that the people are not even friendly to the military. There's an issue of trust building between the military and the common man. That gap is very wide between the military and the common man. Also the fear of the non-state actors, because now nobody knows who because the non-state actors are highly separated in camps, in division. Leadership is separated. We do not know. At times you see a communique will come that there should be an end of the Monday Ghost Town. Another communique will come that there's no end to the Monday Ghost Town, and we have to tell the truth to the president of the republic that the Monday Ghost Town is still very serious in the northwest and southwest. For us to solve this problem, we need to sit like a people and talk our own common problems.
So how do we address our issues to the president of the republic? Because in several occasions, the suffering masses, they have addressed their worries to the president of the republic, because he has not listened to them. They had to take maybe some harsh ways or harsh routes to address these problems. And we have the Minister of Communication, Rene Emmanuel Sargent, communique said, when you attack the head of state, you have attacked Cameroonians and state institutions. How do you analyze that?
Oh, that for sure. You are very right, because when you attack the president of the republic, you have attacked the country, because the president is the #1 statesman. And if you look at President Paul Biya, he's abroad now in Geneva, and you saw the demonstration in Geneva where Cameroonians are demonstrating, and I think that the president has privacy right. As a Cameroonian, he has privacy right to go and relax too. But I want to say that how can you be relaxing too when your people are in pain, they are in suffering in the northwest and southwest? The Boko Haram in the north, people are suffering, and in the east region, I think that we are in an economic recession in Cameroon. People are really in pain, in suffering. Cameroonians are in Cross River State, they are in Nigeria, they are suffering, they're in pain. Children are there, they are already traumatized. They have psychosocial dissonance. The future is not bright for them. The rate of unemployment is very high among the youth. And I think that you go, some demonstrators were demonstrating in Geneva, and I think that people have, the Constitution says that people have the right to demonstrate, but you must demonstrate in a civilian way. You must demonstrate in a very responsible way. You should not abuse people. You should not assault people, and you cannot assault your own president, because when you assault the president, you assault state institutions, you assault the whole country. But these people have their right for demonstration because they have a purpose, and their purpose of demonstration, they are talking about issues of democracy, good governance, stronger institutions, because we need more of stronger institutions in Cameroon, not stronger people, because I think that people have the right. They are talking about, there are many people who have stayed abroad, they don't have issues of dual nationality, they are Cameroonians, you see them demonstrating. So we are suffering from unemployment, bad roads, just living from Boya to here was not easy with traffic congestion. We have a lot of issues of embezzlement, we have issues of corruption, tribalism, because now in the Northwest and Southwest, there's an issue of tribalism, there's an issue of using hate speech. They call people Graffiti, you call people this, and we need social cohesion. Where is that Ubuntu? Where is that brotherhood? So there is a question mark. We need to fix our own issues.
Is it not because some of those public institutions have actually failed the Cameroonians, the people, that they have to take the hostile way to address their issues to the authorities that be?
Thank you, sir. They have. That's why I'm saying that the people have their right to demonstrate. It is enacted in our constitution that they have their right to demonstrate.
How else should they demonstrate? Because we talk of peaceful demonstration. At times they move, they protest, they demonstrate with peace plans. Some of them they don't carry any arms, but at the end of it, you find repression.
Before 2017, you see, most people demonstrated with peace plan.
Even today,
but the fear factor is there because we have seen situations. We have seen situations because I want to say that the psychosocial dissonance is a trust factor. There's no trust between the civilian now and the non-state actors, and many at times the military go too brutal to the common man, and it makes it brings out the fear factor for people to demonstrate, because when you demonstrate, you'll be brutalized and you'll be taken to prison and so on. So I think that our democracy is still quite very young and is still maturing, and they must allow people to demonstrate. Is their right, it's their freedom to demonstrate. Is the only way to tell the people, to tell the government that they are in pain, they are in suffering and so on. When people demonstrate, allow them, hear from them, have a listening ear from them. We want to be the country, we want to shape the country. And I say that those who are demonstrating out of the country in Geneva, where the president of the republic is, they have the right to demonstrate, but the way of demonstration now matter. You should demonstrate in a very responsible way, because when you demonstrate and you assault and you destroy things there, you are painting a bad image about the country. The international world sees the country as a country that is very problematic, and I think that we have to safeguard our own country, the image of our country. But if we have to safeguard the image of our country, the governance system also have to do the right thing. And we are in a deep crisis now in the Northwest and Southwest for 5 years, and now we have proposed solutions, and the solutions are not yet effective. We talk of special status, and the special status is not really examined. The common man do not understand the content of that special status. Is cosmetic. We have to be honest to solve the problem, and if we have to solve the problem, let's sit. Nothing like federation is a taboo. Sit on the round table, discuss the issues with the people who are in pain and the people who are in prison. Talk with them, and I think that when you talk with them, there will be a level of compromise, there will be a level of assertiveness, because people, at the end of the day, through negotiation, people must compromise. And I think that we need a common ground. The extreme grounds will not solve the problem. We need a common ground, and people have to come out of their ego. The non-state actors also have to come out of their ego. The non-state actors abroad have to come out of their own ego, because their children abroad are going to school, but the children in the Northwest and Southwest are not going to school. But you are fueling a crisis where your own children are going to school abroad and children here are not going to school. What are you doing to facilitate and support that we solve the crisis? Because the government also, to an extent, have called for a national dialogue. Though it's not enough, what are the non-state actors, what are the activists doing also to see that they can also help the government for us to solve this problem? Because extreme ends will not solve this problem. We need to moderate our mind. We need to soften our mind. I think that guns have never solved problems, but minds solve the problem. Intelligence.
Dr. Busi, I want to come back to a statement that you made that the head of state is moving out of the country at the time when the country is bleeding. And you say instead he should remain in the country to handle the situation. But there are other state authorities who can handle the situation, right? We have the Secretary General, the President of the Republic, Ferdinand Gongo, you have the Prime Minister, you have Minister Paul Atanganji, the Minister of Territorial Administration, and a host of others who can handle the situation.
That is delegation of power. And delegation of power is very good in institutions. But I want to say that the head of state, His Excellency President Paul Biya, is the father. To be candid, Mr. Moderator, if the President of the Republic comes out today and say, ceasefire, drop your guns, let's sit on the table and talk like a people, and the President of the Republic is present in the dialogue, calm down, let's calm down. I think that the President of the Republic is somebody who I admire. He's a very humble person. He's a very patient person. President Paul Biya is a very patient person. But I think that we cannot be patient forever when lives are when life is sacrosanct. Life is divine. God created humans and man should not kill humans. And I think that the military have caused their own destruction. The Amber Boys have caused their own destruction, but now it is time for us to solve the problem. And President Paul Biya is the key holder of opening the door to solve this problem. I will tell you, sir, no director, no minister can solve the problem. The Prime Minister and Head of Government, Chief Dr. John Gutte, I respect him a lot, is somebody that loves the people. I will tell you, when the Prime Minister came to Boya, I was one of the youths that welcomed the Prime Minister in Mountain Hotel. I greeted the Prime Minister. I told him that, Your Excellency, we need peace. He told me that peace will come. But up to today, people are still in pain. And Your Excellency, Mr. Prime Minister, you are a gentleman, and I think that the Prime Minister cannot do it alone, because the Prime Minister, when you look at the status quo of governance, he is the number 4 state man. And he cannot solve the problem because he's the number 4 state man. He can only facilitate in solving the problem, or he can only do that if the president gives him all the authority and the largesse to solve the problem, because the Prime Minister understands the people. He understands the common man. He knows how to communicate with the common man. He knows how to use soft reprimand. He knows how to talk in pidgin language. He knows how to calm the temperature. He knows how to calm the heat. He knows how to calm the stress and the depression of the people. And I think that if they give the Prime Minister the go ahead, he will solve the problem. But I think that President Paul Biya, who still holds the knife and the yam.
And the yam. So the Prime Minister is holding just the yam.
He's holding the yam, and the President holds the knife.
The knife.
Yes, if President Paul Biya comes out today and says that ceasefire, military go to your barracks, let the police stroll around.
But why is the President holding the knife?
The President is holding the knife because the President, as a President, he is working according to the Constitution. And as for now, he's the President of the Republic of Cameroon. And if you were him in his shoe, you will face that challenge, because he feels that the country cannot separate. He feels that the country came to the Southern Cameroon joined La République du Cameroon through a referendum, and he feels that it is Republican to respect the forefathers of who brought the forefathers of referendum, like John Guffoncha and others. But Southern Cameroonians are saying that they have been marginalized, they have been suppressed by La République du Cameroon. And the only way now is for us to talk and negotiate. And the President is saying we cannot negotiate. But I think that at the end of the day, we will one day talk and solve our common problem and live in that peace. Cameroon used to be a paradise of peace.
Okay, in just few seconds before we go, you're a psychologist. Tell us, how do you see the future of the crisis?
As a psychologist,
conflicts in the Northwest,
as a psychologist, sir, I want to say that people are in trauma, heavy trauma. Their minds are in pain. People have lost their loved ones, either the military, civilians, and the Amber Boys. People have collected ransom and they have killed people. There will be scores. People will settle one day. It will not be easy to come to remove. We will need a lot of counseling and therapeutic, a lot of therapy sessions. We are talking of a center that has been opened in Boya, and the center have been opened there. We don't have psychologists there to talk to the Amber Boys who have given up. We need there will be a time in this country that the pain of this thing, the flashback, people want to settle scores. But I feel that this is the right time for us to sit as a people and dialogue and respect state institutions.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Busi.
I'm humbled to be here. I think that it is our responsibility as Cameroonians to speak the truth, to be honest and be compromising, because life is sacrosanct, life is special. No human being created another body to be killing. Both the military, you have to soften your mind. The Amber Boys, you have to soften your mind. The government, you have to soften your mind. And let's come and let's talk like a people, dialogue our own common problems, come out of this mess.
That was Dr. Enes Busi Neba. He is an educationist and psychologist. He was speaking there regarding the socio-political challenges in the two English-speaking regions of the country, as well the tense socio-political climate in the national territory, also as of the country, where we have Cameroonians protesting against poor governance in the nation. And that's it for this edition of the 6 p.m. Primetime Newscast on Equinoxe Television. Thanks so much for being part. Do have a splendid evening and a nice weekend.